Happy Sunday. Good news, the inflows are back. Bad news, volume is down. SEC confirmation hearing happening this week. XRP 10xing? Well, we'll talk about it. Jed McCaleb ditching crypto for space.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Hello, Governor. Before we get into the crypto news, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Martine Berriel says, love the vibe, keep up the good work, and dropping some Canadian monies on the channel. Thank you very much for the support, kind sir. I greatly appreciate it. Patrick Dalton joins us, says Sweden in the house. Yes, Klaus, cover it. A live stream with Klaus and the guys and gals that watch is always number one, not to miss. Talking about the SEC confirmation hearing happening on the 27th. Vote down below as 80% of you have said, bro, you need to cover it. Chat's lit AF. Joe Buddy says snooze fest. He was already the SEC chair. He will pass quickly. Yeah, but I want to hear the questions, and I want to hear his stance on crypto. These are all important things that we need to hear about. But I need to hear from you, the viewer. Is it worth it for us to cover? Bitcoin's hitting at 85,617. ETH is 2031. XP at 243. We're going to talk price-wise because it appears we've bottomed out here for this near-term move. I've got some stuff to share with you. Sol at 134, ADA at 71, H-bar 18.5, and Doge at 17.3. By the way, XLM sitting at 28.2. Has Jed done anything for Stellar as of late? Confirmation hearing March 27th. BlackRock's IBIT leads Bitcoin ETFs to 6 consecutive days of inflows. That's right, we track money, institutional money on this channel. So it's not just about pumps and dumps, it's also about following the macros and the data, baby. On March 21st alone, the 12 ETFs tracked accrued close to 105 million. Like the inflow count, IBIT BlackRock's contributed most to the rise in trading volume, which settled at 1.3 billion the same day. Volume for these ETFs have also been kind of down. Overall, the BTC ETFs performed fairly well this week, drawing in more than 785 million, including 83 million on March 21st. According to So Value, the cumulative net ETF inflow stood at 36 billion as of March 21st. Okay, we've had some outflows, okay? But even though we've had some outflows, the overall inflow just for some of these are over 36 billion. Here's the chart that I wanted to share with you regarding that. Lots of outflows about a month ago, right? End of February. Then we went neutral and now we're going to inflows. Zoom out to the 1 year and what do you see? Inflows, some sideways action, boom shakalaka inflows, massive bleeding, and now we're turning things around. And it appears that these cycles all come with big news events, right? Like, look at this. Massive inflows right here leading up into the election and into the election. Then we get some strategic reserve news and players are like, yo, this is a big nothing burger. So it is about macros and news cycles, and the inflows and outflows give us guidance. Jed McCaleb, here, I'm bringing this up for a reason. Hear me out on this, okay? Jed McCaleb explores new horizons by investing XRP wealth in space startup. Okay. It's not just XRP's wealth, it's Stellar as well too. And you have to ask yourself, what has Jed really done for Stellar? Remember, he was also part of the whole Mt. Gox thing. Yeah, we know how well that went. Basically, what you're seeing though, is a lot of these players that made money in crypto are using their money elsewhere and for other projects. Yeah. And I've seen players out there say dumbass shit like, yo, bro, we're going to be using crypto in space. This is gonna... What? What? Who are you going to pay? The aliens? Like, come the on, people. Either way, I just thought I would share this with you because there have been quite a few crypto billionaires and mega millionaires that have taken their crypto monies, taken it out of crypto and invested it in other stuff. So do they not believe? Were they just using people for a piggy bank for their personal ventures that they really wanted to get into? Let me know down below. Misleading crypto narratives continue, driven by sensationalist sentiment. Oh, we've all heard about the 100Xers, the $40,000 by Friday bullshit. Well, listen to this. Beware of misinformation. Oh, and prepare yourself for a laugh. Despite the data, misleading narratives persist, crypto quant contributor On-Chain said in a March 22nd market report. Such claims lack on-chain validation and are driven by sensationalist market sentiment rather than objective analysis. Trust data, not noise. Verify sources and cross-check on-chain metrics. That's why I follow inflows heavily. That's also why I follow volume heavily. Now look at volume. Volume is down a shit ton. Okay, you wanted a very scientific description of volume? Shit ton. There you go. You can put that on your next college thesis. Sound good? Yeah, it'll probably work. Yeah, volume right now, 44 billion over the last 24 hours. Now, before I went online, I went around and I was like, all right, let's see if I can find sensationalist bullshit. Took me like 2 seconds. Expert reveals timeline for XRP 10x rally. Shut the fuck up. By the way, help us out. This player that says XRP 10x rally is who? This is Armando Pantoja. And this is what Armando says. Why hasn't XRP skyrocketed $10 since the news? Because it wasn't going to go to $10 on the news. XRP didn't even break $3 on the announcement of strategic reserve inclusion from Trump. And we all knew that the SEC case was going to be dropped because in the weeks leading up to it, we saw that Kraken went down. We saw that they stopped going after NFTs. There were a few exchanges they stopped going after. There were a couple other crypto projects. So we knew they were going to stop it with Ripple. So no wonder all of us out there in the know, those of you that watch this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out, we're like, yo, we're not going to go to double digits. Now, did we want more than $299.9? Yes. Did we hold those gains? Hell no. But let's keep learning. He addressed the sentiment to many XRP holders saying, why didn't we get to $10 on this news? While the SEC has dropped the appeal, they have no official statement, leaving already cautious investors on the sideline. No, crypto is buy the rumor, sell the news. So it's not like money on the sideline is waiting for the official SEC announcement to be over with. No. Again, this is all hopium bullshit. It says, not all tokens are created equal. 10x will come soon, but not in 24 hours. This is just stupid shit, man. You know what I'm saying? This is, again, the hopium. And what happens is it creates unrealistic expectations, right? Oh, wait a minute. So you're telling me when the official announcement happens with SEC that XRP is going to pump to $10? And you know there's people out there that maybe they're new to crypto. Maybe they're desperate and they're like really need the money. So they're looking for the mega 10x action or $10 action. And what happens is we get the SEC announcement and then it doesn't do that. And then players are let down. And why are they let down? They're let down because of players out there in the space that get over 90,000 views on this BS are creating unrealistic expectations. We've seen that the entire cycle of crypto. That's why I brought up Jed McCaleb, because how many people out there said, oh, dude, Jed McCaleb's going to bring XLM to the promised land. And what did we see with XLM? We're at 28.3 cents. Promised land? No. Oh, but once Jed does the space station, we're going to be using XLM in space.
You need to stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
So sensationalist news is just that. It's damaging for the entire crypto market. And it's frustrating because when I do the news, right, and when I start researching the news, the majority of the articles out there are either fake or sensationalist bullshit. What about the big one that was going around a couple of years ago about, oh, the Russian stock market's going to be built on XRPL? Russia ain't going to build shit on a US-based company. Come on now, girlfriend. This is stupid as shit. Now, let's move on to the reality of the situation. And the reality is that the volume is starting to pull back quite heavily for XRP. Now, that being said, even though the volume is pulling back, the price is holding up fairly well. I think about this, okay? Before the November pumpage action, and again, we can go back to the one-year chart of the ETFs and show you that leading up to the election, hysteria was going there because the polls had Trumpito winning by a good amount, right? And we saw that. We tracked it. And we saw that the volume before the election was between $1 to $2 billion for XRP. Then the election happens and oh my gosh, we blow up like crazy. See, check it out right here. See all these big volume blow-ups on the bottom of my screen? And now you can see those volume blow-ups are starting to get smaller. Pequeño or pequeña if volume is feminine. I don't know if volume's feminine or not. Maybe it's a fucking giraffe and that's how it identifies. And it has blue hair and fucking rainbow stickers all over its car. And the car, by the way, is a Volkswagen. And they're like, yo, get rid of your Tesla, the Nazi mobile. Oh, really? Who made Volkswagen, bitches? Yeah, I'm German. I know this kind of stuff. Either way, we're starting to see volume pull back. but the price is still holding strong. In fact, I think a lot of us out there are now starting to think, hey, $2 XRP is pretty legit. Is it the $3 we were hoping for? No, but we saw we couldn't get there with the strategic reserve. We didn't get there with the Brad Garlinghouse announcement. And I'm sorry, expert, you're not going to get to $10 with the SEC's official dunnage with Ripple and XRP, because it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Look at Pi Network. Oh, buy the rumor, sell the news. Yes, girlfriend. Yes, that's what it's all been. Toncoin. Toncoin has pumped quite heavily recently. Why? Because they got a big, massive injection from venture capital. Another, what, $400 million? Yeah, so you got to pay attention to that stuff. BTC ETFs, buy the rumor, sell the news too, right? A bunch of pumpage and then a bunch of dumpage. So XRP, as we zoom out, this is good. Is it great? No. Is it $10? No. Is it 10x? No, but this is better than where we were. XRP couldn't hold 60 cents worth of shit before the election. And now we look pretty good above $2. So once we start getting some real news, like when we get the regs, right? We got to see that, because we got to see XRP as a commodity, XRP as a security, XRP as a whole new entire asset class. We'll see. All right. We're also going to see what happens with the Atkins confirmation. We're going to see how these players out there are going to regulate the landscape. Now, that being said, part of the fear I have that's going to hold XRP back in price is that all these players have been getting into stables. Stablecoin volume has been absolutely bonkers. Stablecoin buildup on the sidelines has been absolutely bonkers as well. And by the way, we have 13.1 million cryptos. So we're also getting what? We're also getting a little bit of oversaturation in the market, aren't we? Yeah, we are. But either way, XRP looks healthy, because as the hysteria volume is wearing away, we're still holding on to a good chunk of our price gains. We're looking at this going, all right, we were sub 50, sub 60 cents. Now we're above $2. That's freaking awesome, and we'll take that. And in fact, if you look at the one-year chart for XRP up on the screen, you could definitely see this sideways action, this comfortable level between $2, $2.50, and so forth. Now, you compare that to other players out there, and let me pick one. I'll pick one of the Jed McCaleb specials for you. Watch what happens when I look at the 1 year of Stellar. See? All the hype and hysteria, and now can't even maintain its floor. It keeps falling. Look at XRP's sideways action since the big pump. Stellar's declining since the big pump. So some players are staying relevant and some players aren't. And yes, even though the volume is starting to go back to pre-November levels, the hot ones out there are staying hot, while the not ones are staying not. But bro, we're going to use XLM in space to pay for the space stations. Well, let me know how your fucking great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids benefit from that shit. Bullshit, 10x, hopium, loser news. Yeah, this was for all those simps out there that cuddle up on Jed's little ball sack. Dude took XRP, dude took XLM, liquidated that shit, and is now building a space project, which he's really into. McCaleb's not involved in Stellar shit at all. Every once in a while he goes to one of their conventions or one of their big announcements and is like, yeah, this is cool stuff. And they're like, bro, do you even know what they're fucking announcing? He's like, I don't fucking know. I'm just taking your money and I'm using it for my own projects. And we've seen that. A lot of the players have taken crypto money and moved it out of the crypto sector into stuff completely different to them. And you've seen that as some of those favorites like XLM pumped and now just continue to erode their gains. And their volume is going back down as well. XRP's volume is going back down to normal levels, but holding their gains. HBAR, look at that chart too. It's another one where it went spiked and it's kind of starting to come back on down. Because the market is looking for what's going to be hot and spicy, what's going to keep us going. And XRP has the ETF that's going to be big. 3 of them buying over the counter. The XRP also has what? IPO stuff. I don't think that's going to help out XRP native token. I really don't. That'll help out Ripple, the company, because it'll help them make more money, right? Create more funding to do projects, right? So that's not going to really help out XRP. RLUSD, oh man, you'd have to use so much of it for that burn rate to really impact the XRP price, and I don't see that happening as well. But those ETFs are big and the regs are big because players that want to get into crypto are waiting for regs. But they're not waiting to get into all crypto, only some of them. And some of them now don't even give a shit about regs. Look at Toncoin. Ton got a fresh injection of capital from venture capitalists. And I've been telling you, venture capitalists are the key to this because they actually want to build shit. They want to build shit that people want to use, not just be speculative. Ask yourself right now, of the cryptos that you're into, who's building stuff that you actually want to use? Who's building stuff that's actually creating this hype, this hysteria, this something that's staying there? No one. It's all been buy the rumors, sell the news. But at least the ETFs and the institutional players are dipping their toes back in the crypto water. Overall inflows are starting to come back on up. Overall, like zoomed out inflows are still mega high when it comes to institutional players in crypto. But we need more. We need usage, we need utility, we need adoption, and we need these players to build shit that we actually care about and want to use. Speaking of using, use your finger and click that like button down below if you like what you read. Also, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out, because as of right now, 1,300 of you have voted that we're going to be watching the confirmation hearing on the 27th. Chad is going to be lit AF. I'm going to be naughty AF. And of course, what? Choo-choo bitches is what?